Well, for more on the life and legacy of Papa Wemba, we're joined live in our Nairobi studios by Della, an Afro-pop musician who's drawn much inspiration from Papa Wemba's work. Della, a very warm welcome to you. Welcome to Africa Live.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
To begin with, just tell us about Papa Wemba in terms of your own relationship with his music and his legacy.
I remember as I was growing up, like the kind of music I was playing in my house, my father and his brothers, like my uncles, were really into like Lingala music and soukous and Rhumba and all that. So I remember he had this radio where you could not touch his music, and Papa Wemba was on that playlist. And there was a song called Bakwetu that he really, really loved. So as growing up, that was part of my influence, African music. Papa Wemba was a big, big influence to me.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, we know that Papa Wemba was an incredible performer, loved by many across the world. Let's take a quick look at some of his most memorable moments on stage. A very distinct sound of Papa Wemba there. Of course, that high-pitched guitar that's so particular to Congolese rumba, to soukous music. Della, when you listen to that, what do you think is the legacy that Papa Wemba has left for African music?
Papa Wemba was among the first people to take African music to the world, right? He went and took the music to Europe. He's one of the founders, I would say, of world music, like that genre of world music from the 80s, I think that's when that started. Like people started paying attention to African music, so they had to create like a category. So world music, Papa Wemba was one of the pioneers, and I feel that that's part of his legacy. Like he brought us great hits. Like his vocals were amazing, flamboyant artist. Even on stage, his stage presence and performance. Like even there, that video was singing when he's 66. Still so much energy. Now imagine how much energy when was younger. Like. He was so amazing, a legend for real.
Beyond, of course, the musician that he was, the legend of music that everyone considers and remembers him for, let's take a closer look now at the man himself. Papa Wemba was a pioneer of soukous music. He combined Western and traditional sounds, and that saw his style become popular both locally and abroad. Here's more now from CCTV's Susan Mwangeli.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo and the African continent, Papa Wemba was known as the King of Rhumba. He began his career in the late 1960s, becoming a staple of African music over decades. He was particularly famous for blending traditional African music with Western sounds. Beyond music, he was also known for his extraordinary dress sense. He became leader of a group of young Congolese obsessed with expensive designer clothes. The suppers were the dandies of Kinshasa, and Papa Wemba was their hero. But the King of Rhumba also had his fair share of controversy. In 2004, he faced trial in France for smuggling people into Europe, claiming they were band or crew members. He briefly served time in jail, but maintained that others had done so using his name. This controversy did little to dampen the spirit of the King of Rhumba, and his fans know that his spirit lives on through his music. Susan Mwangeli, CCTV.
Well, As we saw there, Della, of course, there was more to the man than just the music. And there was some controversy that seemed to have followed him at some point in his life. In particular, he was arrested in Paris. He served a short sentence there for helping to smuggle people into Europe. And despite this, where some may have seen him as a criminal, he did remain very much loved in the continent and beyond.
That's true. I choose to focus on his fantastic music because that's what I feel his legacy should be. Like, every artist causes controversy at some point in their life, but we don't want to, that's not how we want them to be remembered. Like, he's done so much for African music as a whole, and for artists like me, like paving the way for us to get that kind of attention in the West. So I just choose to look at him as that artist, look at him in his music and remember him in that way. Yeah.
And as much as he was an icon of music and also an icon of style, his flamboyant dress.
Oh my goodness, fashion. This guy, like, even look at this, inspired Papa Wemba.
Inspired by
The guy was always sharp, very, very sharp, sharply dressed. And there's this movement that he was also supporting the Sapeurs. And I feel like that was really commendable of him, because you know about like the kind of the war and the poverty that was going on in Congo and everything, and how that helped to bring the young people away from crime and give them kind of hope and give them kind of I don't want to say distract them, but give them like something positive they can be doing, something creative. And you could see that people were like looking up to the Sapeurs, and that's how you pronounce it?
Yes, that's right.
So it was really commendable of him. Like, I feel like he was always trying to do something for his fellow, the younger people in his country as well. Even if times were hard, he's trying to show them that you can make the best out of your situation. Like, it doesn't have to be about poverty all the time. You can look good still at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much, Della, in studio here with us in Nairobi, telling us about the life and legacy of Papa Wemba.